prep for a plethora of meals. You'll surely want to taste of it, so delicious and so surreal. Let's eat to our heart's content. So many dishes, so much time. I'll try yours and you can try mine.
Konbanwa, Jay Kabanoff here. We will continue the Record of Ragnarok series by representing the gods, this time around with Hercules, who is the opponent for Jack the Ripper. To represent Hercules, I will be covering mostly the Greek mythology this time around and not so much the anime or manga for Ragnarok. This entree will be big and represented using the 12 trials Hercules underwent. I tell you, the real trial here is going to be cleaning up after dinner. But enough about that. A link to the video describing the 12 trials as well as a recipe will be in the description. Alright, let's go ahead and start with the potatoes. We're going to do it similar to how we did in the Thor video. I want to have the cook time a little long so we can do the other trials or proteins that will go on the plate. So just like with that one, go ahead and line these out. What I did was I took some heavy cream, garlic, salt and pepper, some rosemary and thyme, and we mix that all together so that way it should season everything. But after we do a layer, we're going to sprinkle on a little bit of panko or breadcrumbs, then a little layer of cheese, and just go like that. It'll only be about 2 layers since we have a lot more protein on this plate than we did the Thor video. So, just like last time. Cheese. Now, we'll add the heavy cream. And garlic. And now we're going to cover this and put this in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, probably leaning more an hour, but here we go. Alright, for the next trial, the boar, I've got a little bit of olive oil in the pan and some garlic. I took some pork belly and cut it up, and if you couldn't tell, I coated it in flour and sprinkled some salt and pepper over it. This is going to give our sauce any thickness it might need. And then ultimately what we're going to do, after all these sides are seared, we're going to add a little bit of Jack Daniels to try to deglaze that pan. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and take the pork off and just set it to the side for the moment. Alright. Now we're going to add some of that Jack Daniels in there. Alright. As I drop things on the floor. Alright, we've got Japanese barbecue sauce. I like the taste of it, and hey, it is from a Japanese manga, so we're technically being loyal to it. Now we're going to take some apple juice. I think we're going to add some more barbecue sauce to it, kind of even out the ratio here. Alright. It should be nice and thick. Alright, now we're going to take the pork belly, put it back in here. We're going to set this on a low heat. We're going to cover this with aluminum foil. Alright, so for our last 2 trials, by the way, I waited up till there was about 15 minutes left on the clock, just so that way everything could be synced up in time. We didn't have food sitting around waiting to cold. So anyway, seasoned the protein here. I got a little thyme and rosemary. Well, I'll do the rosemary for the chicken, but not for the steak. So this represents trial of the bird and trial of the bull. So I got a ribeye here and a piece of chicken here. The chicken we're actually going to cook in a sauce. I guess in a way, we're almost cooking all of them in a sauce. Anyway, so here's the pan I have back here. I'm going to go ahead and dust that with a little flour, because we're just going to go ahead and briefly sear the chicken. So let's go ahead and get the chicken in there. And then we're going to go ahead and put our steak in the pan as well. For the steak, let's add a little bit of garlic on top of that. So I added garlic to the steak. I went ahead and added heavy cream to this, and we're just going to let it cook. And it'll also thicken once, you know, the flour mixes in. I'm adding a little bit of chicken stock as well. Alright, so something that's no stranger to what we do here as far as the wine sauces go. So a little bit of red wine. The steak is on a cutting board, so we're going to let that rest before we cut into it. Now we're going to take a spoonful of blackberry jelly. We're going to let that cook. And this jelly should thicken it up as well. Alright, so we have our steak, we have our chicken. Let's go ahead and add the sauces to them. And then blackberry sauce to the steak. Finally, our pork belly. I'm going to use a spoon to get some of that out. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and get the potatoes out. These look and smell really good. A little more in there. And now just add a little bit of color to it. Let's just take a couple sprigs of thyme. We'll go right over there. And there you have it. The Hercules Trials Entree.